What is going on? Michael Krug, board certified health coach here. And I just wanted to share, I actually went through this exact talk last night with my group, with my, I accidentally hit pause, with my Inspired Wellbeing Program group. And I thought it would be valuable for everyone else who is connected to me to see this. So I just want to share a little bit about my perspective on weight loss and how it looks in a realistic capacity when it comes to sustainable weight loss over time. So if you're not familiar with my story, I have podcast videos and stuff I've made about it. If you want to hear more, I can send it to you. But when I decided I had to change my life and my health, it was 2012, May of 2012. I was 375 pounds, just coming off my fourth knee surgery in 3 years, and I decided I gotta change or I'm gonna fucking die. So that's what I did. So I started here, and I had this realization and this goal, halfway through 2012. I was like, all right, I gotta do this. 375 was my tipping point, and in that year, so from May until the end of to December 2012, I actually got down to about 310. So it was a pretty solid year, weight loss wise. And then what happened was I transferred schools. I went from St. Cloud State to Winona State. If you're in Minnesota, St. Cloud's Party Central. Winona State, still Party Central, but not as much. But I was basically just doing basic things, right? I was eating frozen veggies, chicken. I was, riding my bike everywhere, riding the elliptical, that kind of thing. So I transferred to Winona, and then I plateaued, quote unquote, but I actually bounced between 300 and 325 for an entire year from 2013 to 2014. And again, I developed some strategies to get down a little bit, and then I didn't really adapt or change anything. I wasn't working with anyone. I was just kind of figuring it out by myself, and I was able to maintain that, which felt good. It was like homeostasis for my body, right? So got down to about 300, and then I started doing resistance training here, okay? And I went from about 300 down to like 260 in one semester, which was great. And there was some fluctuation in here, right? It's never truly linear. But that's what it looked like for me. And then, so that was 2014. I bounced between about, like 250 and 275 through the end of that year. And then in 2015, I started doing fasting. I lost a little bit more. I got down towards about 230. And then actually in June 2015, I went and I got down to about 215 or 230. And then I went for a 4.5 month trip to China and Southeast Asia and Japan. So that was pretty awesome. I will say the food over there is quite different than here in the United States. It's just real. There's more real food. The portions aren't quite as big, not as much junk in the food, but that's a different conversation for a different time. I'm just trying to share a little bit of my story. So actually in that time from June until October, I got down to 209, which is why I have that kind of marked off here. And I felt great. It was pretty awesome. But then, throughout that time, I was kind of like, I wasn't really lifting while I was over there. My legs were tiny, just little toothpick legs. There's pictures of me on Facebook. And I decided to start getting more into lifting, eating a lot of protein. And I went back up, and then I was kind of fluctuating, hanging out between 230 and 215 for about a year. And then I actually moved back to the Twin Cities, St. Paul, for those of you who don't know, from Winona. And I was going to do a music festival, and I decided to get super shredded. And that was summer of 2017. So I actually went down, I got all the way down to about 196, 198. It was weird, dude. I could see my abs. It was the first time I'd ever seen my abs. I think my body fat percent was probably 10 or sub 10. I was pretty low. But honestly, I wasn't a big fan of being that light. I like to, move a little more weight. I wouldn't say I just carry it well, but like in general, I feel good. Like, I'm 225 right now, and I can still kind of see my abs, but this was like scary. Like, I don't know. It didn't feel good. I had headaches all the time. I was always hungry. I was depriving myself constantly. I could only eat like spinach and eggs, and I was just really restrictive. So I decided to just, that was cool to get down there. I got to that. And then since then, I've just kind of found this happy little medium. I'm usually between about 235 and 225. And that's just kind of where I live and where I sit. And with that, I maintain about a 17% body fat, go a little lower sometimes, a little higher, maybe in the winter. But what I want to show you with this is that weight loss is never linear. It doesn't just go like straight down. That's not real, right? So I hope that's beneficial. If your goal of yours is weight loss, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions about this. And I hope this is informational, if nothing else.